Harvard and Windsor, and I wanted to continue. The other tape didn't get it all on there. I just put up. If anybody cares to go back and view it. I want to, really the reason for this one today, because I've put most of this up on videos before, but to remind people of Larry Flint, Hustler Magazine. He was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, March 6th of 78, and I was living in Moonraker Apartments in Marietta, Georgia, Cobb County, just outside Atlanta. And I was writing about, I'd worked for doctors, and I was writing about mind control and how people were, their behavior being modified. They were being programmed for different things, but programmed to go out and shoot or kill in any manner, drive your car into the river and drown, like Bonnie Sailor 3 that was involved in on investigations out at Redstone Arsenal and NASA, and they had top security clearances and were almost ready to retire. And Bonnie Sailor, when I worked for the district attorney in 80 there in Huntsville, Madison County, DA, she came to where I was living and wanted me to help her because nobody would help her. She'd gone everywhere. And her husband, Sailor, was one of them that was under investigation suddenly, a lab, and two of his buddies that were ready to retire with him almost. And they were put under investigation, and within just a matter of months, her husband shot himself with a shotgun somehow and was in a bathtub. One developed rare cancer and died very swiftly. The other one drove his car into the Tennessee River and drowned, so they all three died. I'm just giving you a list to begin with of people this was used on. And the thing is, I was trying to tell about Warren and Rosina Matthews were pathologists at Larry McDonald's Hospital, Piedmont. And they were forensic pathologists, and they were killed in Cobb County. They were shot, and the persons were programmed to shoot them. I had written about them. Knowing how murder, deaths appear to be natural when they're not. They're caused by mind control. And the fact that the people have this information is the Tesla files, can create illnesses and they can cure them. So this is what I'm getting at here. Larry Flint, I was out there when Larry McDonald, the doctor congressman I wrote about, the plane went down later, August the 31st of 83, and Mr. Flint shot me, listen, I'm trying to get this on, so excuse that error. I don't have someone doing my work for me, and believe me, I'm 76 years old, and I'm in really bad health from all of it. But anyway, Mr. Flint said I know who was responsible for his shooting, and he mentions Larry McDonald here in this endorsement. This is Elizabeth, who's illegal, and I won't go into that anymore. Her father, George, had kidnapped me and taken down his own brother. I found out in 83, but from the Brits. This is 39. This is George, Eleanor, George the Sixth, Elizabeth's father. And this is President Roosevelt. This is 1939, and they're planning my kidnapping then. So you look back at all of history and what's happened after the illegal takedown of my father and my kidnapping. I'm Victoria II, heir to the British Crown. And all the treaties are illegal. And the 99-year seal put on my birth and my father's takedown to cover up their crimes. Now, this is Wallace. I'm going to say this again so you can understand. Wallace Simpson was an American spy. She married a double. This is not my father. Here they've got Wallace saying, a picture, I had it, where Wallace, they're saying she's, this is her. My father never married her. My father was married to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, sisters to American artist Georgia O'Keefe. So there was never, they took down a beautiful man, and also my mother, she was a real queen mom, and me and my sons, they stole our names and gave it to somebody else and gave the crown to this traitor who signed treaties and left the United States, spread his war machines all over the British and conquer the world using us as a launching pad. And the UN started all the treaties after my kidnapping, my father's takedown. Joe Kennedy was appointed ambassador to Great Britain by Roosevelt. So that's why the Warren Commission covered all of it up. Mind control was used in the JFK and the Martin Luther King. And yes, Martin Luther King did know about me. I lived in Atlanta. You better believe they knew about me. So anyway, they're mind control murders, just like the Aurora, Colorado, James Holmes. He's a victim, for God's sake. His life has been a living hell. And so has the Sandy Hook, where the children were killed, and the kid killed his mother. Do you think anything strange, people, about all that's been going on? MK Ultra, I'll say it again, was brought before Congress in '53, give a slap on the wrist for what they were doing with mind control. So guess what it's like now? Edward Snowden just touched the tip of the iceberg with it, because they can use mind control. It's so advanced they can use it on armies or get to anyone. Let me put it that way. And you don't know it. If you did know it, who you going to go to? You going to go tell a psychiatrist you think you're under mind control? You know what you do? You bypass the system, court system, or it wouldn't matter anyway. Psychiatrists and doctors have so much power now. That's the book I wrote, MD, A License to Kill. And man, they really got me April Fool's Day of '80 after I had a letter from the FBI, June the 23rd of '79. I thought it was because of the book. Instead, it was because of who I am, and I found out in '83. Now, I want to get back to this one. This is what I was trying, if I can get it on now. The Shah of Iran, I remember I said I did the book and got the letter from the FBI in '79, and I knew about mind control murders and had written the book, and all these things were happening to me and my kids. Got a letter from the FBI, ongoing investigation, national security involved. Well, that was '79, April Fool's Day of '80. I was filled full of antifreeze and should have died. Illegally taken across the state line to Huntsville, Alabama, where I worked for the district attorney, Fred Simpson, Madison County, Huntsville, the Space Center. And John Lennon was killed then, and Martin David Chapman shot him. He was programmed too. So some of these you can prove. Now, I'm not going to go into this because I won't get this on. The Shah was killed in '80. I believe it was July of '80. This is right after the antifreeze was put in me, and right after I went to work for the district attorney. He fled in exile to Mexico, and I thought back at that time, because I was trying with what was going on to me, I knew it was a mind control murder. So President Carter allowed him to enter the U.S. because he had cancer, and he was fleeing the overthrow of his government in Tehran. And I wanted to say, does anybody think to look at what's really going on over there, and the United States sending all its war machines there, and calling everybody the bad guy when they're stirring up the trouble? And the Shah died of cancer, they say. It was murder by cancer is exactly what it is. They can cure it or give it to you without your knowledge. Anyway, I wanted to get into also murders made to, suicides. They call it suicide. It's murder by mind control. How do you prove it? Like Robin Williams. But his son, the Shah's son, Shah died right after I was given the antifreeze and I'd done the book. And he dies in '80, July of '80, and then his son fled to the United States, and he supposedly shot himself in suicide with a shotgun. Bull. These are mind control murders. Yes, they are. And the sister had died of barbiturates. I don't know how many in that family, it reaches out how many died. But Jean Bernard died at 98, the doctor that found the cancer, and she dies of cancer. Now, whether that cancer had anything to do, it was real, natural, or it was induced by mind control. I don't know, but the others I do know. They